Hey everybody, welcome to Spirit Breakfast, and today we're still going with our series of the twos, the two twos. So today we're reading from Ruth 2 verse 2, Ruth 2 verse 2, and it says, So Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, Please let me go to the field and glean heads of grain after him in whose sight I might find favor. And Naomi said to her, Go, my daughter. So this is, if you know the story of Ruth, this is where Naomi went to Moab with her husband Elimelech, and then Elimelech died, and the two sons died as well, and one of the two sons was Ruth's husband. And then Naomi decides to come back to Bethlehem, and as she is transitioning, she travels with her two daughters-in-law. One is Ruth, the other one's called Opa. And then somewhere in the journey, she's like, you two should, stay in Moab where you come from, and I will go back where I came from. And then Ruth is like, I'm not leaving you. Your people are going to be my people, and your God is going to be my God. And then they travel back together. So this is now in Ruth 2, where they've arrived in Bethlehem. They have nothing to their name, and they need a way to eat, to survive. So Ruth now goes and says to Naomi, well, let me go out there and glean, in the harvest, and get some food from anyone in whose field I might find favor. So if you know, I don't know if you know about the history, but back in the day when it came to harvesting, the harvesters always dropped grain on the edges of the fields. And this was a tradition that was done to feed the poor, the widows, the orphans. So this is what Ruth was basically going to go and glean. So what this story, or this verse 2, Ruth 2 verse 2 reminds us is that we have to step out in faith in life and go and look for the blessings that God has in store for us. If you sit at home, you're going to be hungry, Ruth. But if you step out and say, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just going to go and hope and believe that God is directing me, because it says the steps of the righteous men are ordered by God. So I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna go and look for my field of favor. Step out and go and look for your field of favor, Ruth. And as you do that, you're going to find your feet in the field of Boaz, and that is your field of favor. Boaz ends up being Ruth's husband, and that's the field that she ended up gleaning in and staying in through 2 harvests. So that field fed her and Naomi through 2 harvests, and then at the end of those 2 harvests, she ends up getting married to Boaz, and Boaz becomes her husband, and he was a wealthy man. But it all starts with Ruth stepping out in faith. She didn't even know whose field it was. She just happened to be in Boaz's field when she stepped out in faith. So that is teaching us that, sometimes you sit and you're waiting for God to give you some kind of direction or some kind of flash of lightning to say 10 left, or 10 right, or take 10 steps, take 5 steps. And sometimes God is just waiting for you to take a step of faith, to just say, you know what, I'm just going out there and I'm just going to take a step of faith. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this step. And I believe that as I move, God is going to give me the next move, right? So I hope that encourages you. You know what I mean? So sometimes you might be trying to start a business, but you don't know what business God wants you to do. So start with what you know, right? Start with your passion. Make a vision. Say to God, okay, I feel like I can't quite hear what you're telling me to do. So I know that I'm good at making soap. So I'm going to make some bars of soap. As you take that step, then God starts to direct your movement. But you have to move. As Ruth was walking towards fields for the harvest, right? As she was walking towards fields, there must have been options of what fields she could have picked. But the minute she decided to walk towards fields, God started directing her steps to walk to the right field, which was her field of favor. So sometimes when we don't know what to do, we don't know which direction to take, the first thing we have to do is to take a step towards the thing we want, right? She just wanted food, so she knows that I'm gonna find it in a field. But she did not know about this bigger picture God had, where the field she was gonna end up in was her husband's field. At the time, she didn't know that. She was just going to look for food in a field. So I hope that encourages you, take a step of faith, walk in the direction of what you feel God is calling you towards, even when you don't have the full instructions. As you keep walking, He is directing your steps. You might not see it, but sometimes it actually takes getting to the destination to look back and say, oh, so that time you actually said left, and then you said right, and then you said left, and then you said right. And sometimes it happens in hindsight. You look back and you're like, now I see the map. When you've got to the destination, right? So take a step of faith. Don't be afraid. Fear is not your portion. Power, love, and self-discipline is your portion. Take steps of faith. Keep walking even when you don't have instructions. Just have faith that your Father, who says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, is walking with you. And these steps that you are taking, are the steps that God is ordering. Okay, so sometimes as you grow in your journey with God, it becomes less of left, right, left, right. You've come out of the wilderness. It's not manna anymore that's falling every day. It's you walking and you having faith that the steps you are taking are being directed, if you know what I mean. So it's like, imagine a programmed robot, and imagine that you are a robot that's been programmed by God, right? So this robot already has a program in it where if it's supposed to go to the shops 5 kilometers away, its steps are already ordered to say 5 steps here, 10 steps there. But as the robot does that, it's probably not really like just counting. It's already programmed to be going in that direction. So it just starts automatically doing what's programmed for it to do. So it's like, just imagine that God has already instilled a destination for you, and as you are walking, you are literally walking in the path that has already been predetermined for you. Even though you can't see it, even though you didn't get a map for it, those steps that you are taking, have faith that they are already guided by God, right? Anyway, I hope that blesses you. Step out in faith. Don't be afraid. Keep walking. Some of you are already in your field of favor. You just don't know it. Anyway, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.